What is the best football team of all time? An age-old debate that goes back decades. I'm going to be doing my best to answer that question once and for all. Let's count down footballers' top 10 teams in history. Number 10, Ajax, 1994-95. There were a few different Ajax sides I could have gone for, but since we're only going to be using each club once, I had to go for the mid-90s era led by manager Louis van Gaal. This team was the ultimate wonderkid squad with an average age of just 23. They had the likes of Van der Sar, Frank de Boer, Clarence Seedorf, Edgar Davids, Frank Rijkaard, Mark Overmars, Nwankwo Kanu, Jari Litmanen, and the teenage superstar Patrick Kluivert, who scored the winning goal in the 1995 Champions League final against an incredible AC Milan team that may be appearing later in the video. This Ajax team went undefeated in the Eredivisie and the Champions League, lifting an incredible double. The fact that they did so with such a young team cements their place in the top 10 teams of all time. Number 9, France from 1998 to 2000. The first national team on this list is the incredible French team that destroyed Brazil 3-0 in the World Cup final and beat a great Italy side to win Euro 2000. This legendary squad was captained by Didier Deschamps and featured some unbelievable players. Desailly, Thuram, Makelele, Vieira, Pires, Anelka, Trezeguet, not to mention the small matter of Thierry Henry and Zinedine Zidane. Up until this point, France had underachieved internationally, but since this team emerged, they've been consistently among the best in the world. In an era of legendary players from the likes of Brazil, Netherlands, and Italy, France emerged above them all and definitely deserve their spot on this list. Number 8. Man United's treble winners in 1999. Staying in the same era of this French national team, we have one of the greatest club sides of all time, Manchester United. There are so many different eras to choose from Sir Alex Ferguson's incredible 26-year-long reign with United, but his treble-winning 1999 side is surely their peak. This team featured arguably the best goalkeeper of all time, Peter Schmeichel, then the brick wall of Jaap Stam in front of him, then probably the best midfield four of all time with David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, and Ryan Giggs. Then the incredible duo of Cole and York up top with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming off the bench. And of course, how could I forget to mention the real linchpin of the side, Gary Neville at right back. This team cut it close, only winning the Premier League by 1 point, and of course needing one of the greatest stoppage time comebacks of all time to beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League final. However, being able to win in these really tough moments is what makes them stand out, and for that reason they sit at number 8. Number 7, West Germany from 1970 to 1974. Another of the greatest national teams of all time, this legendary West Germany side were led by two of the greatest players in history, Franz Beckenbauer and Gerd Müller. They won the 1972 Euros and the 1974 World Cup in style. This team is a unique case because so many of the players in this West German side were also playing for Bayern Munich at the time. Bayern in this time period also enjoyed incredible success, winning 3 Bundesliga titles in a row and 3 Champions Leagues in a row. In this sense, I'm kind of grouping both of these teams together and defining it as the greatest era in German football history, and they sit at number 7. Number 6. Liverpool from 1974 to 1983. Just missing out on the top 5, we have one of the greatest club sides of all time, Liverpool under Bob Paisley. In 9 years with Bob, they won 3 Champions Leagues and 6 Premier Leagues, meaning they never went a season without a major trophy. The legendary players they had at their disposal include Kenny Dalglish and Ian Rush, the incredible striking duo, Graham Souness in midfield, Ray Clements in goal, not to mention the amazing 2-time Ballon d'Or winner Kevin Keegan. Their consistent dominance over a very long period of time make them undoubtedly one of the best teams of all time. They're unlucky not to make the top 5, but once you see the incredible teams in front of them, you'll understand why. Number 5, AC Milan from 1988 to 1994. Kicking off our top 5, we have the team that so many people picture when they think of Italian football. Arrigo Sacchi's defensive pressing tactics revolutionized football at the beginning of this era, and Fabio Capello took over from him seamlessly. In this 6-year period, they won 3 Serie A titles and 3 Champions Leagues. The incredible players they had at their disposal include Baresi, Maldini, Costa Curta, Carlo Ancelotti, Frank Rijkaard, Ruud Gullit, and the incredible 3-time Ballon d'Or winner and star of the team, Marco van Basten. To best illustrate the uniqueness of their achievements, let's look at the 1993-94 season, where they won the Serie A title scoring just 36 goals, thanks to their absolutely incredible defense and their ability to grind out 1-0 wins. To put that into perspective, let's look at the current Serie A table. Atalanta already have 34 goals and were only a third of the way through the season. That same season, AC Milan also won the Champions League, conceding only 2 goals in the process. This is the greatest defensive team of all time, and they fully deserve their spot in the top 5. Number 4, Real Madrid from 1955 to 1960. This one's going to spark a lot of debate. It was a complete coin flip between this Real Madrid that won 5 Champions Leagues and 3 La Liga titles, or this Real Madrid that won 4 Champions Leagues and 1 La Liga title. On one side you have Ronaldo, Bale, Modric, and Ramos, and on the other side you have Di Stefano, Puskas, Copa, and Gento. In the end, I went for the older team, for a few reasons. For one, winning 5 Champions Leagues in a row is an incredible feat and one that I don't think will ever be repeated. For another, Sir Alex Ferguson is quoted in saying that this team was the first example of how a modern football club should be run. You had players of all different nationalities coming together. You had the Argentine Di Stefano, the Hungarian Puskas, the French Copa, and the Spanish Gento, among many others. You also have to take into account the president at the time, one of the most legendary figures in Real Madrid's history, Santiago Bernabeu. This team was full of superstars and introduced the Galactico philosophy that made Real Madrid into the biggest club in the world that they are today. For that reason, it represents Real Madrid and takes the number 4 spot. Number 3. Barcelona from 2008 to 2011. Just ahead of Real Madrid are their fiercest rivals, FC Barcelona, and this incredible team managed by Pep Guardiola from 2008 to 2011, featuring the most incredible stars like Eto'o, Henry, Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, Alves, Puyol, Piqué, Marquez, and this small Argentinian man playing in his absolute prime in the false 9 role. This Barcelona side won 2 Champions Leagues and 3 La Liga titles in a row, including an incredible sextuple in the legendary 2008 to 2009 season. What made this team stand out was Pep Guardiola's iconic tiki-taka style of play and the incredible goals that they would score. Also, many of the most legendary players on this team were developed and brought up by the La Masia Academy, an antithesis to Real Madrid's Galacticos that we talked about previously. The manner in which they mopped the floor of legendary sides like Sir Alex Ferguson's Man United will forever be remembered. This team will always be one of the most iconic of all time, and it fully deserves its spot in the top 3. Number 2. Spain from 2008 to 2012. Coinciding with the great Barcelona side at number 3, Spain did what they did, but even better. While they had so many of Barcelona's amazing players, they also had the help of Real Madrid superstars like Sergio Ramos and Iker Casillas, their captain and one of the greatest goalies of all time. This team won Euro 2008, World Cup 2010, and Euro 2012, an absolutely perfect resume. While they did have superstar strikers like David Villa and Fernando Torres, I'd say what sums this Spain team up was the Euro 2012 final, where they beat Italy 4-0 while fielding a team composed of 6 central midfielders and 0 attackers. We just talked about Barcelona's tiki-taka, but this Spain side took it to the next level. The way they would just pass around and absolutely dominate possession was unlike any other team in history. They're not the best team of all time, but they're incredibly close. There are runners-up, sitting at number 2. Number 1, Brazil from 1958 to 1970. When you think of the sport of football, you think of Brazil. When you think of the World Cup, you think of Brazil. What other option did I have to put a Brazilian team at the number 1 spot? And this era of just over a decade where Brazil won 3 World Cups is the ultimate candidate for the best team of all time. Let's go through some of the players. Carlos Alberto, Tostão, Didi, Nilton Santos, Jairzinho, Garrincha, and of course, the icon of football himself, Pelé. Aged just 17, Pelé scored 6 goals at the 1958 World Cup, including 2 goals to lead them to victory in the final. Then, to wrap up this era in a full circle, he scored again as Brazil beat Italy in the 1970 World Cup final just before he retired from the national team. Pele's amazing and all, but the real unsaid hero of this Brazil side is Mario Zagallo. He won the World Cup in 1958 and 1962 as a player, and then went on to manage Brazil in their 1970 victory. This is by far the most iconic team in football history and a very fitting winner. Definitely the best team of all time. What do you think? Are there any teams I left out that you would have included in the top 10? Are there any positions in my ranking that you would have swapped around? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to Footballers for more videos like this one.